What's up, lads?
Oi.
What up, lads?
Fucking A, man. I'm
Hey.
slightly hungover. Now I know what it feels like to be chased.
Oh, good one. That's funny. Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat, brother. I can't deny that.
Fuck.
been,
After the TCU game had me fucking myself
Oh,
drinking myself into a coma.
oh!
Who the fuck is this guy?
I'm over it. You'd think he would have graduated from there or something.
It's his whole life. It's all good, man. Happy for you. Good win, Cole.
Oh man, happy Sundays. Happy Sundays. Happy Sundays from Cole over there.
Horns down.
Cole,
Horns
why are
down.
you so happy? What happened yesterday?
How are you feeling this morning, Cole?
A lot of good things. A lot of good things happened yesterday.
What, like what?
Shit. I don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't want.
I think you know exactly who I'm talking about.
USC lost, or I'm sorry, USC won.
USC should have lost.
Yeah, they should have lost.
Hold on, we haven't even done a really quick intro. Do you want to take care of that, Cole?
Yeah.
I can take care of it. What is this? Episode 7 now?
Episode 7, the Rubbin' Tubs
Episode
podcast.
7.
Post Red River weekend.
My revenge episode. I'm coming for receipts today. I'm not holding back. Boomer Sooner.
Dude, you should play his fucking voice memo.
Bro, look at Brayden's forehead. What are you doing, Brayden?
That's all he sees, your forehead.
Dude, I'm just wearing this old ass hat that I got in Austin, Texas.
We can't even see it.
We can't even see it.
Like
It says
this is you, Brayden.
Stone. It's from a fucking thrift shop, so it's me being trendy, I guess. So
Okay, Theo.
That's
But yeah,
so funny.
episode 7, Rubbin' Tubs, big Oklahoma revenge episode, Red River Rivalry. I assume we're going to probably talk about that quite a bit. Maybe give a little bit of insight on the downfall of Lincoln Riley. I'd like to talk about that today.
I would love to talk about that right now. I think we should talk about that
Dude,
first.
yeah. I mean, there's a couple of awesome games that happened this weekend. I feel like we're probably going to cover, the Red River game, that Arizona USC finish last night, the Miami finish. Apparently Notre Dame lost. Georgia finally handled some business. I mean, shit. Do we want to just jump into it with Red River?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Cole, let's let you talk about this. How you feel?
Oh, my
How you feel
goodness.
after the game?
That was one of the best performances from the Oklahoma Sooners I think I've seen in my lifetime, and we still left 17, 21 points on the board. My God, did you guys see the goal line stand?
Yeah.
Yes.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah. 4 in a row.
Clutch.
Stop them.
That was vintage Oklahoma football, vintage Oklahoma defense. That's what we've been missing. That's what we didn't have with Lincoln Riley. That's what we have now with Brent Venables, a defense that can hold up in the trenches. We saw throughout 4 quarters, Oklahoma's offensive and defensive line ran the line of scrimmage all day long.
Yeah.
Defense made Quinn Ewers. I mean, I will say he did have still a good stat line outside of the 2 interceptions and the fumble. I mean, he was extremely accurate, but let's not look too far into that because
No, it was
Luis, I think you and I talked about this. 95% of those passes that he completed were either behind the line of scrimmage or 5 yards down the field.
or like
Dude,
that running
yeah,
back played well.
to,
That running back was good.
Yeah, to give a little context for you guys, Chase and Brayden, like Cole, I'd found this. It was like one of those depth chart, not a depth chart. What would you even call that graphic, Cole? It was basically like where you could visually see where Quinn Ewers has been putting all of his passes and like his completion percentage from like 0 to 10 yards, 10 to 20 yards, 20 plus. And I'd seen before the game. I don't know if he completed how many of these he completed, but before the game, I'd seen that he'd only completed 4 passes this whole season that were over 20 yards. 3 of those came against Bama. 1 of them came against Baylor. Again, I don't know how many he completed against Oklahoma, just because I was half drunk for that game. Like I was at Katy Trail. I was at Katy Trail having the time of my life myself, just because I was surrounded by burnt orange, and it was a great game. But yeah, dude, I mean, I also saw on this sheet though that like he would go 27 of 30 or 28 of 30 on passes behind the line of scrimmage, which is why like some people were calling him like a screen pass merchant or something. But I don't know. I mean,
he didn't have any. I think the biggest chunk play they had, and I might be wrong about this, was that on fourth down when they went for it. I want to say it was in either the first or second. I think it was in the first quarter still, where they went for it on fourth down in their territory or in Oklahoma territory, and I think it was that. I think his name is Gunnar Helm. Yeah, it's Gunnar. I think it's Gunnar Helm. He didn't play a ton leading up to the season. He was mainly kind of like a blocker.
Big tight end. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a huge play. And to be fair, that was just blown coverage. He's usually blocking for Texas. Mm-hmm. He's not ever really in a position where he's catching balls. But with Jatavion Sanders being, I mean, he played, but he was limited for sure. Oklahoma definitely should have picked up on the fact that maybe they try and throw in a couple of other tight ends and look for them. And Gunnar Helm was by far like the guy that they went to at tight end yesterday. Mm-hmm. I mean, they went to him a couple of times. And he had a couple of big plays.
Yeah,
but even that pass, I mean, that was wide open, maybe 15 yards, and then he just ran into the end zone.
Well, I want to say I feel like a lot of the yards that he racked up were also yards after the catch. Like it was like
he didn't have any big throws down the field. It was all over the middle, curl routes, screens,
it's Whittington,
flats.
Man. That's what he uses.
Brayden. Yeah, Brayden's. I was about to say the same thing, Brayden. Like I feel like there was a couple times where Jordan Whittington, like he would, I don't know, he'd snag it maybe like 8 to 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, and then the majority of the yards were just yards after the catch, but. Also, we didn't really get to introduce Brayden again. Appearance number 2 from our polite Theo Vaughn here. Welcome back, Brayden.
It's good to see your head, Brayden.
Good to have you back again. What are your thoughts on Red River? I mean, I don't know if you caught the whole game, but I'm kind of curious to see like what your thoughts are and what you want to dive into.
Yeah, well, I think Xavier Worthy, I think, is a very clear cut receiver number 2. I think Whittington is by far the best receiver on that.
Hold up. You think Jordan Whittington is wide receiver number 1 over Xavier Worthy on Texas?
What about A.D. Mitchell?
No, I think Whittington, honestly, dude, he's so much more reliable. And the thing is like he's bigger, and his yak is almost inevitable. If you're throwing a screen to him, he's going to get yards. You'll see so many times that they'll make contact with him the second he catches it on the line of scrimmage, and he's still going to get positive yardage. And I think Brooks is the running back. Dude, he single-handedly he kept Texas in the game. He ate. I don't agree with – I think that the line was definitely won by Oklahoma, but I don't think it was as dominant as Cole thinks it is. If you look at it, Brooks had one hell of a day. That man ate. So I think that it was between Whittington and Brooks that kept them alive, and I think they were making Ewers look much better than he was, and they were relieving a lot of pressure off of him. So, but I think OU looked great. I think it was a Dylan Gabriel show, and he was orchestrating things more so than Quinn Ewers was being orchestrating. Quinn was more just being carried, but I think
he was
Dylan
showing
Gabriel,
up when it was clutch time.
Yeah, no, I think he had a lot of poise, standing in the pocket, and still keeping his eyes downfield. Had amazing scrambles. I mean, the scrambles were he was dicing them up. So yeah, that was impressive. It was what I guess I didn't think he was capable of that. I thought that they kind of got a bust from UCF when he transferred there, and he kind of proved me wrong. So yeah, I was very surprised by his performance.
You're not the only
Dude.
one he's proven wrong right now. He's proven
Yeah.
everyone wrong.
Hey, when did Coach Prime become a Sooner?
Today.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
yeah, I like that.
Today.
I like the Coach Prime Oklahoma Sooner look. Looks good, man. Well, you know what?
Let me add something on to what Brayden just said real quick, because he said that the line of scrimmage like wasn't as glaring as what I said. Let me be clear. Texas is a very good football team. I think that they still belong in the top 10, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah.
But if I said Oklahoma dominated the line of scrimmage, I don't mean they clearly just dominated the entire game. But they did win the line of scrimmage through the majority of the game. It was very close in the trenches, but Oklahoma did hold up better when it mattered. And that's what I meant. I didn't mean that they just flat out dominated them. I meant when it mattered, Oklahoma showed up more, especially in the trenches.
I think the key plays on both sides of the ball, and like this is something that I even saw like Texas fans saying like during the game. I think after those first two picks, like I'd even heard a couple of people say like, "Oh wow, like I didn't realize like Oklahoma's defense and like their defensive line was actually going to give us this much trouble." Just and again, dude, we talked about this like for a couple of weeks about how no one was going to be talking about Oklahoma because they haven't played anyone that's like a real test up until this one. But dude, they took care of business every single game prior to this one, like both on defense and on offense. And we talked about this last week, Cole, when you said who do you I think has the better offense, and I said I think by a hair Oklahoma has a better overall offense just because they can find consistency. They're more clutch in like those crunch time moments. I like Dylan Gabriel like for 4 quarters more than Ewers. Not to say that Ewers didn't also have a good game like what you were saying, but those 3 turnovers that he had, you could make the argument that they cost them the game. Like they could have arguably maybe won the game had it not been for those.
Yeah.
Then again, Oklahoma also left their own points off the board, so you never know, right? But dude, yeah, going back to what Brayden was saying about Dylan Gabriel and his ability to scramble. There was that one scramble, or not. It wasn't even a scramble. I think it may have been a design quarterback run, the one where he took off for like 40 or 50 yards. Had he been a little bit faster, he would have just taken it to the house. But it was like those types of plays. Those types of plays, I was like, wow, like, yeah, like I was one of the people who was a little bit more high on Dylan Gabriel. Like I wasn't a non-believer, but I definitely think he's surpassing my expectations at least because, I mean, his ability to just orchestrate the game. I mean, he was protecting the ball. There wasn't really a feeling that he was ever going to turn the ball over. Yeah, they looked good on both sides of the ball, I would say.
Well, this goes back to kind of what I said. I can't remember what episode it was, but or maybe it was off camera that I said this to you. I think I said it to you too, Chase. Dylan Gabriel, in order for Oklahoma to hit like 10-2, Dylan Gabriel doesn't need to play elite every single game.
Yeah.
No.
Because their schedule is like, and I'll be the first to admit, Oklahoma has a very winnable schedule from here on out.
Who do you have like big game wise left?
At BYU.
That's a win.
At TCU at the end of the year. I think
that game's in Norman.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, in Norman against TCU at the end of the year. But I love TCU. They're my second team. I mean, obviously alumni, but like they don't look good. They don't look good.
Did they play yesterday?
I do not think that they're going to challenge Oklahoma.
No.
I think that here's what I was kind of saying though is that Dylan Gabriel doesn't need to be elite for Oklahoma to go 10-2. But what you're seeing is Dylan Gabriel is playing elite, and they're 6-0, and they very well might win out the rest of the season and reach 12-0 going into the Big 12 championship. That's what you get when Dylan Gabriel is playing elite.
I don't think it's out of the question either to like see Dylan Gabriel in New York for the Heisman ceremony for that reason, just because the schedule's very winnable. So he's not gonna. I don't. Again, we don't know. Like the future comes with no guarantees, but I don't see a game on that schedule. I don't see more than one loss, and that's like if I'm being generous. Like if I give Oklahoma like one drop, like where they have just an off game against someone and they don't show up, but I don't see that. And I think for that reason, if Oklahoma ends up going 11-1, probably 12-0 in the regular season, like I don't think it's out of the question that Dylan Gabriel's just in New York for the Heisman ceremony. Because how many touchdowns does he have now? Like 16 and only one pick.
He has, I believe, he has 2 interceptions. But when you say, do you mean total touchdowns?
Well, total touchdowns is probably up to like 20 or so. But I think passing touchdowns he has
20.
passing touchdowns he has like I want to say he had like 15 before yesterday.
No, I thought he had 17. I might be
I
wrong.
don't know, but either way, he's putting like Heisman numbers up. Like he's taking care of business. So, man, I think that rematch in Arlington is going to be really good. Obviously, like the team that loses the first game usually gets
16.
the better of the second one, and gets the rematch. But I was telling Cole, dude, I don't know about you guys, but I could see Oklahoma very well just winning that game again, just because I really do believe in the fact that they're a good top 5 team, top 4 probably.
You're saying if they play again in the Big 12 championship?
Yeah, because usually the Big 12 championship, there's been multiple years where the winner of the first game loses the rematch. TCU lost to K-State in the rematch. I think Baylor, when they won the Big 12 championship, they lost to Oklahoma State in the regular season. When Oklahoma beat Texas in the Big 12 championship, Texas had beaten them in the regular season.
TCU Kansas State.
Yeah. There's been a couple instances. Then again, though, Utah beat USC twice last year. Oklahoma beat TCU twice in 2017. So it's not a guarantee. I think Oklahoma is definitely built for it. So we'll see. But yeah, good weekend for the Sooners.
I'm a little salty that Dylan Gabriel's not a Bruin because UCLA could use a fucking quarterback right now. But
yeah, well, just the other day you were saying fuck Dylan Gabriel, fuck this, fuck that.
I was trying to get in your head for a big week.
I'm happy he's not at UCLA.
I'm just kidding, man. The guy fucking balled out yesterday.
And he did pull out those receipts.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking
Let me ask you a question. Who Brayden, Chase, who did you guys take in that game?
I was rooting for a fair game,
Yeah, but everyone to have fun. That's what
I wanted a participation game, but since there has to be a winner, I did take Texas. I did, and
I did.
You know what? America.
Yeah, I think that a lot of the public was on Texas. I think it closed at 3.5 or 2.5.
Can we go on record and do you guys believe me now when I say trust me on Oklahoma games?
Yeah, I mean but Cole, you're gonna say that for every single game. You're gonna say that on every single game, no matter who they're playing.
That's not true necessarily because I remember Cole. I
genuinely won't.
I'll back you up, Cole. I remember last year when Oklahoma started out poor, they lost to K-State and then they lost to TCU, like in back-to-back games. I want to say, and I remember Cole was the first one to text me and be like, "Dude, I think this team's just ass." I think they're just ass. Like, I don't even think you didn't even say, like, make an excuse for them being unlucky. And then sure enough, they ended up being ass. So I believed in them. I believed in the Sooners, just by the way. So I'm going to put that out there. I've been believing since like week 1 or week 2. And we talked about this, Cole. I know outside of the podcast, we kept talking about, or I kept saying how Oklahoma was going to keep going into the radar until this week, because this would be the first big win. And,
I said last year, I was like, this is not a good team. Before the season even began, I was like, I do not have high expectations for this team. Going into this year, I knew the changes that we made, the competitive depth that we now have on our team. That's another reason why I think Oklahoma won yesterday, was because of the depth on the roster. Yes, Texas has a couple of players that stand out and that are overall better than Oklahoma. You look at Xavier Worthy, you look at Jordan Whittington, A.D. Mitchell.
Brooks.
Their running back, Jonathan Brooks. I would have said Quinn Ewers outside of what just happened yesterday, but now I say Dylan Gabriel is the better quarterback there.
Quinn Sewers, you mean?
Yeah, Quinn Sewers. But the overall depth of the team, when you look at the entire roster, Texas don't have anybody outside of those receivers that I just named in the wide receiver room. Oklahoma, who caught the game-winning pass yesterday? Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson caught the game-winning pass. He has 6 touchdowns on the year on like 9 catches. He is going to be elite next year. He might even end up breaking out and being elite by the end of the year.
I didn't know.
We still have Jaleel Farouk, Drake Stoops, G Freaky, Gavin Freeman, freaking Andrell Anthony, who I hope is going to be okay. It looked like he had a pretty bad injury yesterday. But the depth behind Andrell Anthony is still solid. And overall across the board on the offensive line. You saw us lose 2 offensive linemen yesterday. We had a freshman in and a first-year transfer come in to play offensive line when 2 other guys went out. And both of them were arguably the standout players on the offensive line. Texas had injuries too, but their replacements didn't show out. Outside of maybe Gunnar Helm. He had a great game, kind of came in and relieved a little bit off Jatavion Sanders. But across the board, the safety position, we didn't allow any large chunk plays, anything over 20 yards in terms of down the field passes. Our safeties, Peyton Bowen is still a freshman, forced a fumble recovery yesterday. He has 2 pump blocks on the season. The depth across the board at Oklahoma is far and above that of any other team in the Big 12 at least.
Yeah.
Danny Stutzman might be the best linebacker in college football.
Yeah.
I think Anthony Hill, man, that guy is an absolute freak.
Wait, so I know we've been talking about this game for 20 minutes. I will say this because I know you have the receipts. Cole Boomer, Sooner, respect, good win, good team win. Oklahoma is legit. I will
show me.
Horns down. Get this on record. Horns down. I am a believer in Oklahoma this year, especially with a favorable schedule. Rooting for you. I have the receipts, Cole. And your mom was giving me shit for it too. So, Rhonda, I know you're listening.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer Sooner, Rhonda. I respect it. Can we please talk about USC?
Dude,
Let's please talk about how horrible.
I want to hear Brayden's take because Brayden, I think, follows the Pac-12 outside of Chase, probably the most out of Luis and I.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, there's just USC just has all the weapons on offense, but I mean, I think that it's like I watched the whole game. Just USC's defense is soft. That's just it, and that's just what you get with Lincoln Riley. It's Arizona State hung in there, and now granted they played with CU well yesterday as well, but like CU I think is completely fraudulent. Outside of Shador and Travis Hunter, who's absent, so I don't know if that says a lot that Arizona State hung in there with them. That's just what I think the general theme of the Pac-12 is, and this is a little side note. It's just that right now defense is it's non-existent in the Pac-12. It's just all gas and no brakes for offense. But
I do have to say something.
Outside of UCLA.
UCLA is all defense and no offense. They have no offense. They have a quarterback, true freshman, who is scoring more points for the other team than he is for the Bruins, but they're getting it done. So, but I would agree outside of UCLA,
I guess Oregon State's not bad defensive-wise, but...
Yeah, they at least have an offense, though. UCLA has no offense, but yeah, USC, I mean, you go down 17-0 at home against this backup quarterback, and they were, they should not have won that game, and they can't cover a spread. Every week you got SC's favored by 3 touchdowns, and, you're going to triple overtime with a team you should be beating by 50. So as a true Boomer Sooner myself.
Favored by 21.
As a true Boomer Sooner fan, I'm a believer, and as a UCLA fan, I love to see that SC is not a good team. I mean, their record says they're 6-0, but I'm just saying they've had a really favorable schedule, and they're not. Their defense. Grinch is probably the worst defensive coordinator in college football, and the fact that he hasn't been fired is unreal. But I
Caleb
hope.
Williams just single-handedly willed his way to the win.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
played terrible. He started out with his first like 2 or 3 drives. He was 1 for 6 passing, and I think he finished the night or was going in about. I think he finished his the regular 4-quarter time in the game with being like 12 for 18, 190 yards passing, and 1 touchdown, but he had 3 rushing touchdowns at
those
that
were
point.
clutch. Yeah.
And so like all he does is he just scrambles. He has no help on the offensive line. It's
No,
Patrick Mahomes I guess like on crack is what he looks like back there, just freaking out, has to be twitchy and find the right guy.
Actually, I like that comparison. It's like Patrick Mahomes at A&M. I mean, I know that they're undefeated, and I know that their record shows that they're better. I'm sorry, at Tech.
Tech.
That they're better than when he was at Tech. But that's what it reminds me of, is that it's Patrick Mahomes and nobody else.
Yeah.
Like I said this yesterday. I think that Caleb Williams is probably the best football player in America. But you cannot expect one single man. He's not God, bro. Like, you cannot expect him to come in for 12 weeks and then go into a conference championship game or a bowl game or a playoff game and do that 12 times in a row. Like, you can't expect him to physically carry an entire team for an entire season. Like,
their
Lincoln
running back,
Riley,
I will say, is great. And I don't know his name.
Lincoln Riley has always had a good run game. He's always had a good run game.
Yeah.
And yeah, their running back is good. I'll give him that.
And they have Jerry Rice's son, but he's nowhere to be found.
They got Williams is a good receiver. He's a stud. Rice is a stud.
He's fast.
Branch, that kid from
the freshman.
Zachariah,
that guy's a freak.
So like that's the thing. Like they're good, but like they like on their own accord, like they will do things like individually, but there's no connection from center snapping the ball to Caleb getting the ball to Caleb distributing them, and there's no flow or rhythm there. It's like Zachariah Branch on punt or kick returns, or it's their running back just getting the ball handed off and then him doing things. Like there's just no congruency. It's just them doing things on an individual thing, and the team is very individual performance based.
100%.
It's honestly like, I know this might be a crazy comparison, but it's like Chino Hills, like the basketball team, like how they just straight fucking offense.
All right.
And well, I'm saying their whole logic is we're just gonna outscore you. They're not gonna. It's crazy to say. I know it's a different sport, but they have no defense, and I really can't wait till they get exposed. And Boomer Sooner is all I have to say. Boomer Sooner.
Chino Hills. Yeah.
What? I'll say this about USC, and then we can move on to a different game. One thing that Oklahoma fans like always had kind of a grudge against Lincoln Riley for, and he still is this type of person. He doesn't believe in a special teams coach. He believes that they're unnecessary. That's not like something I've made up. Like that's straight from his mouth, that he does not believe that a special teams coach is necessary. And what did you see them do yesterday? Well, first it was that squib kick, which, oh my God, gave me so many Vietnam flashbacks of the Rose Bowl. Oh my fucking God, bro. I nearly had a heart attack when I saw him pull out a fucking squib kick again.
Vietnam.
I was like, you've got to be kidding. You cannot still be doing this. And even the announcers were like, what is he doing? Why are you calling a squib kick going into halftime? There's still time on the board, and you're losing. Or maybe they were up at that point, but still, like, you could have let them go down the field and score. If that's a better team, if that's not Arizona that they were playing yesterday, if that's Oregon or Washington State, even UCLA, that they're putting at least 3 points up on the board after that squib kick. And then secondly, what happened at the end of the game? They should have won off that field goal.
Yeah,
but
got blocked.
Your special teams is underperforming, and that's what happens when you don't have a special teams coach. So you can't even feel bad for him at that point.
No, not at all. I don't feel bad because they're fraudulent. They are fraudulent. And
I think USC is maybe like the 15th best team in the country right now, if that. Like, I just think it's unacceptable for you to think to be or to want to be that good and have all the talent that you do, but then have the 98th ranked defense in the country. Like, that's just
they probably dropped after yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, they should, and I don't think the AP poll is, dude. It's so funny. Oh man, I can't wait for this feud that Carter and Cole are about to have for whenever Carter comes on. If he decides to come on, shout out Carter. Because he was flexing the ranking.
Carter. I love you, by the way. I love you, Carter.
It was funny because I remember they were chirping back and forth in the Instagram like comment section of Rubbin' Tubs, and he was talking about like, look at the rankings, bud. Like, what do the rankings say? Well, shit.
What did I say? I say? Men lie, women lie, and the AP poll sure as hell lies.
Well, yeah.
That is not the 9th best team in the country. That's not even the 10th. That's not the 11th, 12th. That's maybe the 15th best team.
Could you imagine the things if they were? I mean, and we're going to see this anyways because they still have to play Oregon, Washington, Notre Dame, UCLA, like some really tough games. But could you imagine what Texas yesterday would have done to USC?
Oh man, any team above them in the rankings would have completely exposed them yesterday. They were exposed. Let's face it. They were exposed yesterday.
The Pac-12 championship basically happens this next weekend. It's Oregon at Washington, and that's the Pac-12 championship right there.
Well, you have USC playing in Notre Dame coming weekend. Then you have Utah playing SC, and Utah owns SC. And then then they still have to play Washington, and Oregon, and UCLA. USC. Good luck,
dude. They might lose at least. I think generously they lose 3 of those games, and I think worst case they lose 4 of the 5 games that we were talking about last night. I think that's their worst case. They still have to go to. They play at Cal. That should be a game that you should be winning. If they lose that game, they may as well just sell the program, and the Big Ten may as well just rescind their invite.
Yeah.
So this is the last thing. This is the last thing I'll say on UCLA because I hate on USC because I hate giving Lincoln Riley this much exposure, and I pose this question to all 3 of you.
All right.
If the worst case scenario were to arise, I'm not saying that this is going to happen. I think that realistically, USC could probably pull out dubs in a couple of those games.
Yeah.
I think that Oregon and Utah are probably the surefire 2 losses.
Washington.
But if the worst case,
Washington.
Well, Utah owns SC, and
they do own
the
SC.
Washington game that's at USC, right?
Yeah, but I'm only thinking of like, is Cam Rising even going to be back by then?
Dude, he's been questionable for 7 weeks.
Yeah, let me finish though. Hold on. If the worst case scenario was to happen and USC loses, 3 of those games, 4 of those games, even if they end up losing all of those games, what do you think happens inside that program going forward? Like, what do you think happens to that coaching staff? And I'm posing that question to all 3 of you.
I think me personally, I don't necessarily see Lincoln Riley bouncing because I know Cole. Like we kind of talked about this last night over text message about how you think he might just dip out and go chase the bag in the NFL, get himself an NFL job. But I don't know if I see him dipping before year 1 in the Big Ten, even if they go in even if they go through this worst case scenario where they lose 4 or 5 games. Just because I think he's still like early in his USC career, like his tenure. Like I know he he wasn't expecting USC to then immediately bounce and go to the Big Ten where it's going to be a lot harder. But I just don't know if he's going to like leave them that soon, Like I think he's probably going to stay at least 1 more year. If in that worst case scenario, I think me personally, he's probably going to stay there a minute anyways. But I don't know. That's just me.
I wouldn't even say it's going to be that much harder in the Big Ten right now. If you look at it, the Big Ten looks kind of crappy. I think the Pac-12
harder in most years.
That's true. The Pac-12 this year, that I will say, is looking like probably the most competitive in conference top to bottom. I think that he's gonna stay there for a little bit because they paid him a bag, and it's gonna be so expensive to be able to pay him off and then bring on somebody else high profile that's worth anything and pay them. The defense will definitely get addressed, and that's a board of directors call. I think that they're probably going to press Lincoln to think about doing something. It'll be like a Jimbo Fisher situation where they're like, all right, you have to get like an offensive coordinator. Well, this I think they're going to like you need to get maybe special teams, but you need a new defensive coordinator. Like we're paying you too much money. I think it's ridiculous that Caleb Williams is just going to probably stay at USC just because he doesn't want to be drafted by the Bears or
I think
whoever
that's so pathetic.
tanks. But that's all that USC is going to do. They're just going to throw more money at the problem, and they're going to make sure that some of the few solid pieces that they do have, which are arguably more than just solid, they're going to stay put just because they're going to buy those like solutions. Yeah, no, all it is just going to be basically a giant pinata, and they're going to hit it, and it's going to be full of cash. Everyone that is super greedy, which is majority of that entire program, is going to stick around. They're going to pick up all the cash that they can, hang out, and then once the opportunity presents itself to go to a better situation, they're going to jump ship. But I don't see that happening for a little while.
Yeah.
I think he is a sneaky little bastard, and I think he is going to eventually sneak out of there. But I don't know if it happens like really soon. Like I think it happens maybe 2-3 years down the line, like at the soonest. Just because
Chase,
I mean this is only his second year, but I don't know, Chase. What do you think?
Of Lincoln?
Like,
yeah,
what
what do
do
you
you
like
think?
the question that I posed? What do you think about that?
I wouldn't doubt that he leaves, but I don't think he's going to leave this year. I mean, especially when they join the Big 12, there's no reason.
Big 10.
Caleb, I think Caleb will. Excuse me, sorry. Caleb's going to stay. I think that the first thing they do during the offseason is they're probably going to fire their DC, and then Grinch is terrible, but I don't know. Maybe once Caleb leaves, he goes with him. To be honest, maybe he goes to a shitty team that's going to have the first overall pick, and he stays with his boy because they obviously have that relationship. It went from Oklahoma to USC, and maybe it translates to the NFL. But I don't like Lincoln Riley, especially as being a big Sooner fan. I despise him. But
you're fraudulent, bro. You're just as fraudulent as SC.
Maybe my love for the Sooners is a little fraudulent, but I do respect the Sooners, and I fucking hate SC. So, hey, Luis, can you pull up the picks from yesterday? I honestly was too drunk to realize how I did. I know I lost the Texas game.
You
All
weren't.
right, while Luis pulls that up, let me give my take on that real quick, and then we'll move on from this fraudulent program. I think one of two things could happen. I think that if Lincoln Riley doesn't fire Alex Grinch, that is a clear sign that he is extremely loyal to him, and he wants to make sure that his friend, outside of his coaching staff, his friend is earning a payday still while he can, because he's not going to get hired as a defensive coordinator anywhere in the country after this if he gets fired.
No, absolutely. Yeah,
so
absolutely
I think that if he holds on to him, that is an indicator and possibly could correlate to what his decision could be next year. Because I promise you, it ain't going to get easier in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
The Pac-12 is good this year, but let's be honest. Now you have the best teams of the Pac-12 going in to the Big Ten, and now every year you have to face, whether it's Michigan, Penn State, Oregon, Washington, Ohio State. You got to face those programs every year. It's not going to get easier. It's just going to become a deeper conference.
Yeah.
So it's not going to get easier for him.
No.
And I think that that's a correlation of he might possibly be making sure that dude, that might be his best friend. Like, I don't know. Like, Alex Grinch might just be like that dude's freaking best friend.
Seriously.
And he's like, I just want to make sure that you're getting your payday now. because I know after I fire you, you will never get a job coaching a defense ever again. So I think he might hold on to him and then, like a little fucking snake in the grass, leave like a thief in the night and bounce to the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Well, to recap our week 6 in picks, we actually had a very good week for our 3 hosts. I believe we all went 5 of 6. Chase's one game that he got wrong was the Texas game, which was, I don't know why you would ever pick such an ugly color, an ugly team, and ugly coach, ugly all around. Boomer Sooner all the way, I believe. I missed the Baylor game. I kind of just made that call because I don't think Tech is any good, and I don't think Baylor's any good either. But whatever. Tech ended up winning that one, and then Cole got the Mizzou LSU one wrong. Jaden Daniels.
I shouldn't have gotten that wrong. Mizzou should have fucking won that game.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels.
I mean, shit, bro. Jaden Daniels, he still pulled through. I mean, he had a decent stat line: 15 of 21, 259, 3 tubs, no picks. I mean, he did decent. He pulled his team to the win. Going over to the guest picks, Hunter. He got the Texas OU game wrong, Mizzou wrong, A&M Alabama wrong. Which, by the way, that was a close game. I do want to give A&M a little bit of props. I didn't expect Max Johnson to be as good as he was. I thought A&M wasn't going to stand as much of a chance without Wigman, however the fuck you say his name. But, I mean, they hung in there. They could have arguably maybe even won had they had their starting quarterback any other day. It was a good game. I watched it. Jalen Milroe, I mean, he had like 1 or 2 like long passes that they scored a touchdown on. So yeah, that was a good game. KU UCF, I believe KU destroyed UCF. So Brayden, I think you got that one wrong. And then
Brayden, did you go?
And then you also picked Arizona State. And I want to say, oh, dude, by the way, can we talk about really quick about, did you guys see what Shadur did?
Wait. Hold on.
He went 1 for 6.
We cannot. Brayden is sitting over there just happy as a fucking clam right now.
I can't see him, so.
He's like, thank God they're going to skip over the fact that I went 1 of 6. Hell no.
Lord.
Hell no.
Listen,
my goodness.
This week I have not, and basically everything I've ever predicted was going to happen, the opposite came true. And that's true in every single sport. My sports betting account is in shambles.
Brayden, the fade god.
I'm asking for a lifeline, like financial cover, because, dude, I'm in shambles over here. Like, my Scooby, my dog, may not eat kibble this week. I don't know.
He ate today. We saw that.
Oh God!
They all let you down, bro. He could have maybe even gone 0 for 6 with that LSU game.
Luis, I think that James has something to say to Brayden.
Oh man, hey James, bro, you heard about fucking Brayden, right? Yeah, hold on, he's eating breakfast real quick. Let me go get his ass.
Bro, can you give me some credit? I think I've lost 2 games in 3 weeks. I think I'm what 15 and 2.
Brayden, what happened? Bro, chill, James. Don't fucking do him dirty like that, bro. God damn, bro. Jesus. Shout out to James, bro. We'll get you on. We'll get you on one of these next couple of weeks.
I would love for that. I requested a spot at the table when that happens.
Deal.
Honestly, this might also be the perfect time to go into our Buzzer Tracker updates, and then we can go back and like talk about some of the other games. Buzzer Tracker standings. Our host, we all went 5 for 6. Great performance from everyone all around. And Chase still, just barely in the lead.
I have 14? How do you track these bozo points?
Well, because you don't show up half the time.
Because you get bozo points for missed appearances, and then for failure to market. Just because at the end of the day, we're all the creative directors of marketing. We don't have a marketing department, so that falls on us.
Okay, I'm just saying, if we're talking bozo like tracker based off of football
You're
picks.
being one right now. You're lucky you don't have 15.
What? You're gonna talk to me. You're gonna talk to me like that on my show. You're my guest.
Oh god.
You're my guest, Brayden.
Oh god.
You're my
You've
guest,
made about
Brayden.
you've made about the same appearances as Brayden though. Jesus.
No, I got one more, fucker. So.
Oh god.
I'm going into the guest Bozo tracker. I think this is the first time we've actually covered it in like on an actual episode. Not a dude. Damn, Brayden, not a good fucking week. Picked up 5 bozos, going 1 for 6. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck, boy? Bro, this bozo tracker started after hours. So, like, by the guests should, in theory, have less bozos than the hosts. And almost everyone is caught up to Cole and I, at least, bro. Hunter and Parker, shout out. They're sitting pretty at 6. Brayden in the lead on the guest tracker at 9. Picked up 5 this week. Damn, bro. Yeah, y'all are catching up to us. I mean, shit.
That's funny.
There's nothing to say other than just like fuck us, right?
Yeah, you kind of stuck.
Fuck me.
Brayden, are you on any NFL games, or are you like fuck betting right now?
No, dude, don't. You missed my little segment of like right now, like whatever I pick is good. The opposite is going to come true. I'm also a Broncos fan, so we're playing the Jets today. So if you want an NFL pick, it's here's my pick: steer clear of the Broncos Jets game. I think that you're only going to lose your ass on that. Other than that, I mean, fuck the Chiefs. Their money line out. It's not going to pay well, but if you want something that's a
3.5
surefire win.
Yeah, I mean, with their money line's only like -150, it's not a terrible bet.
I want to talk real quick about two games that happened. First off, did you guys catch what Shadur did after Colorado? That's something I've been wanting to talk about because it was really. I was texting Cole about it last night. Did you guys catch what Shadur did after Colorado barely scraped by ASU?
I was drunk in the shower.
Wrist in the end zone.
Like he goes over to the ASU student section and then does that thing that he's been doing to the other teams where he's just like flexing his watch. And I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah. Like that was like honestly like whatever. And I wasn't even a fan of it then. Like maybe it was cool the first time you did it when you were flexing it to the Nebraska Cornhuskers, who by the way, like they're not that good either.
They won.
But for him to go up to the ASU student section, flex his watch on a team that's 1-5 now, and that they probably should have beat by more. They barely scraped by. And to put this into even more context, none of their wins have aged well. Like the Colorado State one, I get it's a rivalry game, but let's not kid ourselves. Colorado State isn't anything special either. TCU and Nebraska, both trash. They have not beaten anyone good. And like now it's getting to the point where it's kind of annoying. It's like, all right, dude, like maybe people were like right about you guys to hate on you guys like the whole offseason.
What
are you doing? It's getting a little annoying.
It's just getting a little bit too annoying for me. I'm like, you just got your ass handed to you by Oregon, and then you lose to USC, who, by the way, it turns out that they don't look that good either. So that loss, like that's not aging that well either, because it's not like USC went out and played lights out yesterday. And then, I mean, you're looking at your wins, and you haven't beaten anybody good. What are we doing?
My sister went to Arizona State, and I've hung out in that area. I've spent a lot of time at Arizona State, and let me tell you, like Shadur is mistaking them for a fan base that actually cares.
That fucking cares,
yeah.
And like he's trying to flex, and the thing is, when you and your dad and I guess your other brother that's, fucking Sideshow Bob over there when you pay a PR team that much money and you're getting coached up on your publicity stunts more than your actual playbook before the game, you have to go run over there to the end zone to keep up your image, because what are you paying your PR team so much money for if you're not going to go over there and do what they tell you to do? It's ridiculous. He's a decent football player. I don't think he's elite. I think he's decent, but that's about where the buck stops with that. But they're making sure they capitalize. I mean, Dion's not missed any opportunities. That's for damn sure. I know he's picked up a few more commercials and other endorsements.
What's the insurance commercial he's on? Allstate?
Aflac.
Yeah, it's with Nick Saban.
Aflac.
With Nick Saban. Yeah.
And then he's also on what else? He's like on 3 different he's on KFC now. He's on another, and he's on, I think, on 1 or 2 more. Like he has 3 or 4 commercials he's actively doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm telling you, nobody works harder than Nick Saban's PR team, or not Nick Saban, Deion Sanders' PR team.
Are you still drunk, Brayden?
Fuck, I'm dragging a little bit. Sorry it shows so much, but
no,
yeah.
dude, I show up like this every time. You're all good. It brings character.
I've been told.
Yeah. Dude, I'm slowly starting to turn on Colorado, because I was giving them props a couple weeks ago, and I even defended them when they stormed the field after beating Nebraska, and it was because at the time it was because I was like, all right, they went 1-11. They started out 2-0 or 3-0 or whatever. It's the prime era now. It's year 1 of prime, and like let them rush the field, and then they rushed the field for Colorado State. Then they got destroyed by Oregon. Then they arguably could have beat USC, but we've talked about USC. They're not that good. And then they barely scraped by Arizona State, and now you're flexing your watch to the ASU fan base, to a program that's 1-5 right now.
All 23 of their fans.
I'm turning on them, bro. Like I was like kind of giving them their flowers and giving them props, and like now I'm just at a point where I'm like, dude, maybe I was right. Like in the off season, maybe it was because I was blinded by the fact that I thought TCU was going to be good this year, and then when they beat TCU, I was like, oh, that's a good win. It's not a good win. It's not. None of their losses have aged well, and none of their wins have aged well, the way I see it. So, I don't know, man. I'm getting kind of fed up with it now. Like, just go back to the lock. I get it. It's the PR. I understand that, and you're trying to capitalize, but like, Shedeur Sanders, in my eyes, has gone from a Heisman contender to flexing his watch to a 1-5 student section. Like, what are we doing? But anyways, I don't want to talk too much more about that. But yeah. You guys catch the ending of the Miami game?
Oh my god! I'd love to talk about that.
Or if you can call it that.
Dude, oh my Jesus! I was honestly flabbergasted at how you can lose a game. You found a way to lose a game from a position where you just had to kneel the ball, bro. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's Cole's favorite play over there. I see that's his favorite play over there, the kneel, the victory kneel. And I don't know what the fuck they were thinking. With 35 seconds left, the other team has no timeouts. You run it up the gut and fumble. And then not only that, but they were at their own 25. Georgia Tech was at their own 25 with 26 seconds left. No timeouts, and they still somehow found a way to give up a touchdown, bro. Miami's, if there's a bozo of the week, it has to be the Miami.
Mario Cristobal. That's got to be one of the biggest coaching miscues ever I've seen since Lincoln Riley kicked a fucking squib kick in the Rose Bowl.
Dude, it's bad. I mean, I was texting some of my other boys about it, and GW said that he had a Jimbo Fisher moment. Shout out GW. And shit, bro, I don't even know if it was that. Like, I don't even think Jimbo Fisher is like capable of fucking something up that badly. Like, that was bad.
I didn't realize that a Power 5 coach like had that bad clock awareness, because they should have kneeled it 3 times.
I don't know what happened before the fumble, because I only watched the clip of like from that play onwards, like the ending.
They kept on running it. They should have kneeled the ball twice.
Yeah, that's just.
And the game would have just been over.
They were number 17 too, and now they just fucked that up.
They're fucked now. You can't like. There's no excuses for that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, fuck. There's a couple of shit happened this weekend. I mean, that happened. We also had Notre Dame lose to Louisville. Sam Hartman didn't have that good of a game.
That was crazy.
man.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at
Jack
all.
Plummer is actually kind of legit the Louisville quarterback. They're a better program than they get credit for.
Louisville?
Yeah.
Well, Louisville's 6-0 now.
Yeah.
Yup.
Jack Plummer is actually kind of nice with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like what Louisville's doing right now. I mean, I wouldn't have picked them to win that game. I thought that Sam Hartman was much better than that, and that really disappoints me because I'm a big Sam Hartman fan.
Same,
I'm
bro.
a stan. I'm a stan, but
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
you can't really defend him after that performance because he put his team in bad situations, bad situational football all around by Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean, fuck, that's going to be a tough game to call now when they play USC because I was really high on Sam Hartman. I've been calling Sam Hartman a man for weeks now just because he is a man and he's got a luscious beard to prove it. But yeah, bro, I mean, he outside of his picks, it was an okay day. Like he had 250 yards, 2 tubs, 22 of 38, but those 3 picks really just man. That's not good. So
Like the SpongeBob movie. Once you get facial hair, you become a man, right?
I'm still waiting on mine.
yeah.
Brayden, you got a nice little shadow going, Brayden. I haven't seen that. Yeah, this is
Thank you.
I'm waiting, man. I don't. Yeah. Brayden, I gotta lock in my bets before the 10 a.m. game. Sorry to go off track. Brayden, you said stay away from the Broncos Jets.
I mean, it's just going to be, I think, an absolute dumpster fire, man.
I don't think that
It's
necessarily.
gonna be homeless people hitting themselves over the head.
I think that Zach Wilson actually played a great game last week,
Shout out Luis.
and I don't know, but I gotta lock something in. But I'm listening, I promise.
Well, should we go over our picks for next week?
Yeah, I have compiled a list. We've got seven good matchups. I'm hoping we get the same variability that we had last week. But yeah, we can start going through these. Some of these are good. Some of these, I feel like some people will all pick the same team. But I mean, again, you never know. But our first matchup, and again, since the AP poll hasn't come out, these are last week's rankings. But just keep in mind this week's results. But we have number 21 Mizzou at number 20 Kentucky. So who wants to go first?
Mizzou
at. I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? Mizzou and who?
Mizzou
Kentucky.
at Kentucky.
Oh shit! Did
Air raid
Kentucky drop
dude.
one this past weekend?
No.
Yeah, they dropped
Kentucky.
Georgia.
Kentucky got dicked by Georgia, 51-13. Georgia finally started to put it together. Carson Beck, I wrote down his stat line because I was kind of impressed with what he did. 28 of 35 for 389, 4 touchdowns and 1 pick. I didn't watch that game, but a lot of the commentators, a lot of the people on ESPN and stuff were saying they were impressed with what they did and how they're finally putting it together. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big Mike Stoops fan. Obviously, I love the Stoops family, but unfortunately, I got to go against the grain. I think Missouri's against every bone in my body. I don't want them to be good, but I think they actually are pretty good. So I'm gonna take Missouri in that game.
They probably should have won that game.
I gotta go Missouri on that one.
I'll take Missouri as well.
Do I want to go against everyone?
I'll say this, dude. Mike Stoops is a great coach. Kentucky's a good football team. I mean, they played the best team in the nation yesterday, so I don't really know how much of an indicator that is for them going up against.
I'm gonna once again show my big nutsack and go against everyone. I've done it a couple times thus far. I don't give a shit. I'm going with Kentucky. I think they did get pounded yesterday, but again, Georgia's the number 1 team in the country. Apparently, Carson Beck is a really good quarterback. They're playing at home, so that's another thing. I'm going to take Kentucky in this one. I'm going to be the sole believer in them, and then we'll see what Parker and Hunter think. The second
matchup,
matchup,
going to be able to understand what the Kentucky fans are saying. They hardly speak English.
Yeah, it's like that the one character from the Wild Thornberries or whatever. That's what they sound like.
That's funny.
The second matchup, we got Miami fresh off of a fucking bozo show at the end of that game at number 14 UNC. I can go first for this one. I'm gonna go UNC at home. I think Miami is still gonna give them a good game. I think they'll probably get their shit together to a degree after that ending. But I like Drake May. I like UNC. I was hanging out with one of my UNC buddies this weekend, Justin. Shout out Justin. So yeah, I'm gonna take Tar Heels.
That's an easy one.
See, I need to see spreads. I don't know. I can't just
No. This is not a. We're looking at spreads and analysis first.
No. Because to be honest,
we're making our picks.
I was drunk yesterday. I have no idea. Besides USC losing, I think Colorado won. I don't remember much.
I think Oklahoma won too. I don't know though.
I don't know. I have to watch that on ESPN after this. But
no. You're giving your pick today, buddy. Right now.
He's like, I need to see the statistics.
It's crazy.
I need to see the statistics so that I can go 6-6.
Hey, I've lost 2 games in 3 weeks. I'm not bad.
Now we know why, because you're not making bold picks, and because you're probably looking at in-depth analysis when the rest of us are just making picks on the fly.
We're just using our fucking balls to make picks, buddy.
Is it at North Carolina?
It's at North Carolina.
Give me Mac Daddy Brown and my Tar Heels.
All right.
Daddy Brown.
I'm going the same. That's easy.
Also, Cole, remember, this is off the pod, but you said you were going to kick my ass in fantasy. Travis Etienne has 40 points, so just letting you know, I might be coming for you this week.
That's cool, bud.
Same.
I also
Especially when
have
Josh
I swap
Allen,
in Devontae Adams, Bijan Robinson, Devon Achane or Ashane. Travis Johnson still have to play.
Your boy ain't looking too good.
I have 4 first-round picks on my team.
Wow, waiver wire's crazy.
That's fine, buddy.
All right, shut the fuck up and let Cole make
it. All right. My pick. I'm also going North Carolina. I think that Drake May is probably the second best quarterback that's going to be going into the NFL. I think that he has a lot of potential. I think he has a lot of arm talent. I think he's extremely accurate, and I think that at home, Miami gets the job done against a Miami team that's coming off of a really bad coaching loss.
Okay. Looks like we all go UNC across the board. No, I got to save this one for last. This matchup for last. This will be the last one. But our third matchup, USC, the Lincoln Wileys, the Caleb Williams against Sam Hartman in Notre Dame at Notre Dame. This is a tricky one now.
Yeah, it pains me to say this, but
Brayden.
Yeah, I'll go. I'm going to go Notre Dame as well. I think that's actually going to be a pretty good game, but USC is coming off of 2 wins that should have been won by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and they barely scraped by. Notre Dame is coming off of 2 losses, and I think that they are still a very good football team. And I think that in the end, it's going to be the experience of the Notre Dame, the Notre Dame team that ends up putting them over the hump in the end. I think it's also going to come down to the fact that Sam Hartman, I think, is still a great quarterback, and he had a very bad game last week. And I think that this might be his redemption game. I think he has a breakout performance against arguably the worst defense in Division I college football. So yeah, especially at home, I got to go Notre Dame.
Go ahead, Chase. It looks like you're about to say something.
You guys wanted a bold pick? I'll give you a bold pick. I'm going to take the Trojans in this one.
Okay.
I hate to – I'm not rooting for them, so I won't be mad if they lose, but for my bozo tracker points, I got to take the Trojans to beat Notre Dame on the road.
You don't want the points, like you understand, right?
I'm sorry?
You don't want the points, so you understand that part, right?
Brayden, you went 1 for 6, buddy. You went 1 for 6.
Chase said, "I need to keep building my lead."
Bro, you went 1 for 6.
Braden's like, yeah, bro, I know. I got all the points last week. That's why I'm telling you, you don't want them.
Okay, well, maybe we can work together, Brayden. But you went 1 for 6, so
damn, bro.
When you have a perfect week or a week above 500, then maybe you could start talking shit.
This is oh Jesus Christ, this is a tough one. Just because Cole, you said Caleb Williams is the best player in the country. I agree. I think he may as well just be the best football player in the country. I'm struggling to decide whether I think Sam Hartman and Notre Dame can bounce back or if this was like just a one-off. I think, but I kind of do agree. I think what's going to make the difference is Caleb Williams will probably have a good game, but I saw Arizona get after him a lot during that game, and I think they got after him a lot. Like he was sacked a lot before
that offensive line was in shambles.
I think Arizona's D line, like they just faded because it was getting later into the game, and then you go into overtime. So then it just comes down to who's better, and Caleb Williams is better than everyone else on their team. But they are playing at Notre Dame. That's a tough place to play. I did see Notre Dame hold Ohio State to very few points. Not to say Ohio State is like 2017 Oklahoma's offense, but I'm going to also go to Notre Dame. I think I like them to come back and have a little bounce back win. I also just think USC is overrated. I don't think they're the 9th best team in the country. As far as I'm concerned, I think this was an L this week for them. And I think, I'm picking Notre Dame. Our next matchup, this is an interesting one. We got Texas A&M at number 22, Tennessee.
Go ahead, Mr. Bozo. Go ahead. Let's see what you got.
So my girlfriend went to A&M and my sister goes to Tennessee. So I gotta.
That's a tough one, man. A&M still looks decent.
That's a tough game.
A&M still looks decent with their backup, dude. Like he had a good game. Like they didn't fall apart. Like they're still a decent football team. They only lost to Miami and to Alabama, who are decent football teams.
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh. Because who's Tennessee has lost to?
They lost to Florida.
They did lose. Yeah,
they lost to Florida. I want to say I don't think they played this week, but I want to say they played South Carolina the week before and they beat them.
Florida.
Yeah, they beat South Carolina.
Yeah, dude, give me A&M.
Ooh, okay. I'll say this. This is my pick. I think that this might be. This has game of the week written all over it. Dude, Neyland is a tough place to play, and obviously A&M fans know that. Oh, I gotta give the home team a slight advantage in this game, and I already know GW, Emilio, those guys, they're all gonna fucking come after my head for saying this, but I think
Actually, Emilio gave us a little leeway because he did see the logic of us picking Bama because of their quarterback now.
So because Tennessee is at home and because I know how tough of a place it is in Neyland Stadium, I think I got to give Tennessee the upper hand in that game. Just barely. I wouldn't take a spread. I would take money line. That's a tough game.
I can go next. I think this is the same as the Bama game, where it's just going to be a close game. It's probably going to be a toss-up. Yeah. It's going to be a game that A&M very well could win, just like the Bama game. That one we were spot on. We said it was going to be a close game that any team can win, and that's essentially what happened. I mean, fuck, man. I think I'm also going to go Tennessee just by a hair, just because they're playing at home now. I think the deciding factor this week was that they didn't have their quarterback, and I think the deciding factor this next week will be that Tennessee's playing at home, and they're coming off of a bye week, which is huge. Yeah. And they also, before that, beat South Carolina by like 20 or something. So I'm going to also take Tennessee. my brothers, my A&M brothers, please don't crucify me for picking against you guys twice. I'm sorry. We'll see what happens, but yeah, Chase.
I'll add this real quick. I
I'll
do
go
I can
eventually.
see Texas A&M winning. I can see Texas A&M winning.
I don't think
but
anyone is
I'm-
going to
I'm
beat
going
someone else.
Tennessee.
I don't think anyone beats someone else by more than one score in this game.
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead, Chase.
I've seen the future. I was there. I know it. Vols by 6. Shout out more than one.
Oh,
Shout out Tennessee. We're going
Bulls
Joe
by
Milton.
6.
Vols by 6.
Bullshit.
Podcast. Market. Vols by 6 at home. Give it to me.
All right.
okay.
Matchup number 5. Mr. Chase, you might have to be the first one to pick this
Yeah,
one.
I already know. I already know.
UCLA Bruins at number 15, Oregon State.
Bro.
Oh!
Oregon State at home is dominant. They're doing their thing, but I mean, Washington State put up a bunch against them, and UCLA pretty much dominated Washington State on the defensive side of the ball. I think it'll be a close game as well. Dante Moore is probably going to throw for a pick 6 in the first drive or so for UCLA, so they're going to start the game down 7-0, but their defense is going to limit DJ, and I think my boys are going to pull it out UCLA by 3.
UCLA by 3, says Chase.
UCLA by 3.
Nope, it's Oregon State. It's easy.
Bro, I can't take you serious. You look like a fucking conehead right now.
I'm with
Yeah.
Brayden. Oregon State.
That's
DJ. I'm going Oregon State. I like DJ.
DJU.
Let me give you guys a little stat right here. Oregon State, when playing at home, they have not allowed more than 10 points.
Oregon
when
State
playing
by
at
90.
home.
UCLA is a defensive team.
And
Don't matter. We're not even going to put up 10 points.
Absolutely. Or UCLA is definitely a defensive team, but
Yeah.
also they've still got a really good offense. DJ is playing great. I want to pick UCLA.
It's okay.
I really do. But I got to go Oregon State.
I respect it.
It's gonna be
And
close, man. UCLA does have a really fucking good defense. They don't have the best defense in the country, Chase. I don't know what the fuck you're drinking.
After they beat and
Top
they're
10.
gonna, you know what?
Top 10.
Top
they're
10.
gonna
I don't
limit-
think they have number 1 though.
They are going to limit DJ to under 250 yards, and
Okay, that's
They're gonna-
249 then that he'll throw.
yeah, under 250. I said what I said.
Okay, 249
And
and
he
4
will-
tubs.
And they will force 2 turnovers, and they will win by 3. I have seen the future, just like I was in Tennessee.
I hope that happens, by the way. I really do. I
I'm
would love
telling
to
you,
see
bro.
UCLA win that game.
I've
but
been saying it since week
Oregon
1.
State's good.
UCLA's
The Pac-2,
defense is
baby. Come on,
elite.
I'm riding with them.
I'm riding with the Pac-2 champions, the future Pac-2 champions. Yeah. Looks like
Whatever, bro.
Chase is once again putting his nuts out on the line, going
Yeah, you
UC.
guys said
I
I'm
like
not
it,
bold
Chase.
enough.
I
They
like
said
it,
I'm not
Chase.
bold. All right.
I like it,
You're gonna
Chase.
see- I've seen
I
the
like
future.
it.
Did I just
I have
gaslight
seen the
you
future.
into making those picks, though?
No, maybe the SCU kind of gaslighted me into making a bold pick, but the UCLA, I'm gonna root for my Bruins regardless. So
Well, now
Hey.
dude. All right, this matchup number 6. This is the cream of the crop. We got Bo Nix against Michael Banis.
wow,
Out Washington, Oregon at Washington. Oh, that's a good one, bro.
Washington.
That's our featured matchup if there was one.
I think Washington win the national championship.
you're.
Whoa.
I can't say.
Holy
the word.
fuck! Clip that.
No, dude.
Are you
they're-
serious?
He's drunk.
Yeah,
still.
Penix is winning the Heisman, and he's going all the way. He's nasty. I'm a believer.
All right, so obviously
So-
he's taking Washington.
Okay,
Cole.
Oh my gosh, that's a.
that's
I don't-
fucking
I don't
crazy.
like- I don't like
in
that
last
game.
week's poll, they both are coming off bye weeks. By the way, they didn't play this week, and it's number 8 against number 7 in the most recent poll.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, the new AP
Um,
hasn't dropped yet.
All right. I'll. Fuck. Yeah,
Who do you believe in, the Knicks or the penis?
I think I believe in penis.
The
I had
Michael
a feeling it
Pickens.
I think I believe in penis. They're at home. I do agree. I think Michael Penix right now might be the Heisman. And I think that after this week, he'll probably be the front runner. I think I got to go Washington. I will say this though, I really like Oregon, and I wouldn't be surprised if Oregon won the game. But I think that Michael Penix is a slightly better quarterback. Who's their wide receiver? I mean, that's just a dog.
I don't know.
It's what's his name?
Shoot.
A Dubé or something like that. Like
Yeah.
TJ Jackson.
Yeah, TJ Jackson. Chase, you've seen TJ Jackson, right?
Oh,
Hold on, Chase. Have you seen the numbers that TJ Jackson has been putting up?
I don't give a fuck about TJ. Give me Ducks by 5. Give me the Ducks by 5.
Okay, but
can you at least acknowledge?
Does this guy know ball?
Can you at least acknowledge that TJ Jackson is putting up numbers right now?
You'd start for UCLA.
I've never heard of TJ Nutsack because Bo Nix is all I've heard of. Ducks by 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Washington.
Whoa! Give me the Ducks, bro. I'm also riding with him. I know this is a close one. I know it's a toss-up. I know Michael Penix is going to be really good, but I also think Bo Nix is going to be really good. Shit, man, that's a tough one. But yeah, give me the Ducks.
Bang.
It's Oduze, I'm pretty sure, is the name of that receiver that they have that's just nasty. Yeah.
Let the record show that Chase didn't know about who the leading leading guy in the Biletnikoff race is.
Yeah, I can't believe you don't know who TJ Jackson is.
I still come on here. I've come on here 3 times. But I still dominate with my picks, so I said what I said.
All right, well, give an apology to TJ Jackson because he's arguably just as good as Marvin Harrison Jr.
TJ Nutsack, I don't give a fuck. Bo Nix. That's all I care about. I said what I said. All right, Cole, Brayden. Do we have any more matchups, or is that it?
That's it. That's our 6 matchups. Everyone went with Mizzou over Kentucky except for me. We all went UNC. Right down the middle split between Oregon and Washington. Chase was the only one to pick USC over Notre Dame. We all went Tennessee except for Brayden. He's going A&M. And then Chase is the only one picking UCLA over Oregon State. So we've got this is going to be a tough one. This is going to be a tough Bozo Tracker week next week. So we'll see what Parker and Hunter are about.
All right, let's hear some tubs. Let's hear some tubs of the week, boys.
Oh yeah.
I think Cole's tub. Cole, you got to be.
I'm gonna let Brayden go first. What's your tub of the week, buddy?
My tub of the week. I need a more.
Yeah. So we I thought that we did this with you before, but we basically just say a highlight of our week, like a tub, just like a big highlight of the week.
See, Brayden, to be honest with you, I thought when we talked about tubs, I thought we were talking about different things. I didn't know it meant a highlight of the week, so I got a little. What did you
think we were talking about, buddy?
I thought it was more of the rubs part than the tubs part. So
what do you mean?
What do you mean by that?
I didn't know the tub was a celebration, and then Brayden, yeah,
very interesting.
No more
tub of the week. Honestly, I was just blown away by Anaya Smith, his punt return.
Oh,
Anaya Smith,
dude,
this is highlight.
That's it, dude. That thing was. He's just every week he has just some crazy punt return that's just nasty, and I think he's the best return man in college football, and it's electric to watch.
Yes, I agree. I actually did watch that game, and I did see that punt return that you're talking about, and that dude was making dudes miss all over the field. I do think Anaya Smith is indeed probably the best returner in college football right now. So I guess Brayden's tub of the week was that he got to see Anaya Smith make some people look stupid.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Chase, what about you?
Man, you know what, man? I think my tub of this week is my Bruins winning, coming out of a tough game, being here and talking to you guys, recapping it, and surprisingly not too hungover, so I think that's kind of a win. And that's about
Very
it.
good.
I'm just happy to be here.
Sweet.
I showed up.
Indeed, you
When it
did.
mattered. When it mattered.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
My tub of the week. I had a great Saturday. Actually, I went over to the Katy Trail to watch the Red River game with a couple of coworker friends and some guys. A lot of them from the burnt orange side of the Red River. And I got to see a really good fucking football game. Got to see OU win, and I don't want to necessarily say fraud check Texas because they're still a good team, but it was nice to see them lose. It was nice to see Oklahoma vindicate me because I have been a believer in them. So, yeah, I would say that the Red River game for me. Mr. Bull
We've
Booer.
all been waiting for. The glasses have come off.
Embracing myself.
Can we get a little music for this one? Oh God, here we go. Oh yeah.
Take your glasses and hat off when you speak to
Yeah.
adults.
He's talking to you, Brayden. You don't need to right now, then.
No, I can't play the music because it's connected to my AirPods. But
Well, let's get a little dance going.
let me just say this:
And we'll jig.
you can call it a bounce back, but don't call it a comeback because we never left.
Boomer.
The Oklahoma Sooners. We don't say Oklahoma is back. We never left. We never left.
Congrats on the win, Luis.
That's all I have to say about that.
Oh man. Well, boys, it's been real. Looking forward to next week, and hopefully,
We got a special episode next week with Mr. Bull Booer coming into town.
Oh shit! He's gonna be in Texas next week.
Yep, Cole's coming in for our featured garbage matchup of the week. We've got BYU against TCU. That'll be fun. We'll probably end up just doing the episode here.
Love it.
So
We got
that'll be
Owen coming
fun.
into town too next week.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro. I was gonna say we should all meet up at Hunter's place and film an episode.
Let's do it, man. He's got a very
That'd be
nice
crazy.
game room that we can use.
Well,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
be here in spirit, and just send the link, and I'll be on.
Or you could fly out.
Bro, I don't have a job.
You can stay in my closet.
I'll hang out with James Draws. Me and Draws can hang out.
You can stay out. Yeah, James stays in my closet most nights. So if you want, you can spend the night with him, and then I reckon Cole and Emma will be out on my lazy boy and on the couch.
I love it. I appreciate the offer.
Episode
Wrap.
7 in the books. We have a very happy host right here. There's only one. Horns down. Boomer Sooner. Like I said, we never left. We never left.
God, watch that smelly shit. I can smell your jersey from here.
Jesus.
Boomer Sooner.
Should we probably?
Boomer Sooner.
Where's Quinn Seward?